Sniff this, drink that, injecting yourself to get high, and bam, you're knocked out. Like someone who's just been hit by Floyd Mayweather. Hey, don't be amused for drug abuse. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're here again. Welcome to Let's Face It with Joe, where real people share genuine social and relationship concerns. Drug abuse or substance abuse refers to the use of certain chemicals for the purpose of creating pleasurable effects on the brain. According to the World Health Association (WHO), substance abuse is the harmful or hazardous use of psychoactive substances, including alcohol and illicit drugs. So you ask yourself, why should anyone want to do that to themselves? Well, if you want to know, don't go anywhere. Let's take a break.
Training sessions are available with Joe on relationship, professional and social etiquette, including elocution and diction. For corporate organization or personal teaching, send a mail to the email address displayed on the screen now. And don't forget to tap subscribe to Let's Face It with Joe on the YouTube page.
Welcome back. What are the causes of drug use? Drug abuse is usually psychoactive drugs that are used by people for various different reasons, which may include curiosity and peer pressure, particularly among school children and young adults. The use of prescriptive drugs that were originally intended to target pain relief may have turned into recreational use and become addictive. Substances may also be used traditionally for religious practices or rituals as a means of stimulating the minds of their worshippers. One major factor that is associated with the abuse of drugs amongst the youth is peer pressure. These factors include weak parental control, child abuse, imitation, emotional stress, truancy among students, the availability of drugs, and the ineffectiveness of laws on drug trafficking. Not just individuals, but regulatory bodies can be blamed when tight measures are not taken. Drug use is particularly damaging and can affect the physical and mental development of young people and can have significant impact on their opportunities in later life. This is so sad. I'm sure the street has a lot to say about this. We'll be right back.
I believe it's the wrong use of drug, the dosage, and that's a very terrible situation that we have found ourselves in, especially in this part of the world. And from my little observation and study so far on the topic, I can see it is connected strongly with the high rate of unemployment amongst our youth, even amongst those that are older, to call adults, probably because they have a lot of money and they are idle. So it's still tied to idleness, which I feel we should pay attention to. Like people say, an idle hand is the devil's workshop. Idleness is a huge factor contributing to this menace, drug abuse in our country. And I wouldn't blame the government, because it's not the government buying stuff for them. I will blame the individuals who have decided to take to drug abuse rather than look for ways to engage themselves productively.
I think they're trying to hide because they want to get high with a few minutes and escape time, but everybody's just insecure in their own way. Like, they want more and they cannot actually get it, so they think when they are sick in there, like when they are down, when they are in slow mode, they can actually get things done.
Ooh, wow, you've heard it. Recently, there has been a rise in drug abuse amongst teenagers and young adults. Let's take Nigeria as a case study. Recently, there has been an increase in the rise of drug abuse amongst teenagers abusing all kinds of drugs like codeine, tramadol, and Refnol, etc. It was recently reported that about 40% of Nigerian youths are abusing one form of drug or another. This is quite alarming. It has been observed that the North seems to have a higher number of drug abuse. According to a recent report by the government, 3 million bottles of codeine are drunk every day in the North alone. An effective painkiller, codeine, is also capable of giving euphoric high if consumed in large quantities. It is highly addictive and when taken in excess can have a devastating impact on the mind and the body. In an undercover investigation, Ruwana Meya, a BBC correspondent, and Kayode Soyinka, editor of BBC Pidgin, went to Kwara, Kano, and Lagos in Nigeria, interacting with the victims and those making profit out of their misfortune. The investigation revealed how some corrupt officials of big pharmaceutical companies have been conspiring with distributors who violate the standard procedure by making the cough syrup available in open market, thereby giving the public uncontrolled access to it. There are countless effects of drug abuse that cause injuries and affect the brain and encourage health problems. The impact of drug abuse and dependence can be far-reaching, affecting almost every organ in the human body. Drug use can weaken the immune system, increasing susceptibility to infections. The drugs also cause nausea, vomiting, and abdominal pains because the liver has to work harder, possibly causing significant damage or liver failure. In turn, this can cause seizures, stroke, and widespread brain damage that can impact all aspects of the daily life by causing problems with memory, attention, and decision-making. Behavioral problems like hallucinations, addiction, and more. Let's briefly look at how to prevent drug abuse. Here are 10 tips for prevention of drug taking. Youth, don't be afraid to say no. Connect with your friends and avoid negative peer pressure. Make connections with your parents or other adults. Enjoy life and do what you love doing. There are misconceptions that are out there among your friends and on the internet. Your ability to make the right decisions includes getting a good education. Be a role model and set a positive example. Don't forget, what you do is more important than what you say. You are setting a foundation and direction for your life. Where are you headed? Get help. If you or someone you know is in trouble with alcohol or drugs, get help. Don't wait. So my advice to you is don't abuse drugs. As I said before, don't be amused for drug abuse. But hey, who says you can't join me next week? So remember, don't hide it. Let's face it together with Joe.